What's going on, guys, and welcome to this segment of Pinckney's Prospects. I'm Billy Pinckney, and today we are joined by Arizona Diamondbacks prospect Drey Jameson. Drey, thanks for coming on.
No problem, man.
So you were a first-round draft pick last season in 2019 by the Arizona Diamondbacks out of Ball State University. Being a first-round draft pick and being able to have a press conference with your college and your coaches around you, how special is it to have an opportunity that not many guys could say they've had?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an opportunity, and Ball State has done a lot for me, such as, the athletic wise and school wise, and having everyone come together in a way of kind of a congratulations and is huge for an organization as a school. So yeah, it was a big day.
Right. Now, so far, you've only had a part of a season in pro ball, but what challenges have you encountered regarding the transition from college to pro ball?
I mean, it's a huge transition, such as, in college, you have you have like a guy from high school. They're all like you're 3, 4 hole hitters in high school. Then you go to college, and it's like, okay, all these guys were realistically 3 to 4 hole, good hitters. But then when you start dominating college, it's like, okay, the cream of the crop, and then you got guys that are not gimme outs, but outs that are a little easier than others. And then you get to pro ball, and it's not just a thing where hey, I can get this guy out on this. Like, no, all these dudes can hit, and it's a thing where it's kind of like you gotta hit spots. You can't. There's no mess ups. If you leave something up and you mess up on a pitch, then it's definitely gonna hurt you.
Now, you have a handful of pitches: a fastball, curveball, changeup, and slider. Is it difficult to develop that many pitches at the pro level, or have you been able to, have good command over them where it's not as much of an issue for you?
Yeah, I mean, I would say having command overall, 4 pitches, is kind of a thing that you develop over time. And I feel like I developed that, growing up through high school, college. Um, but definitely when you get to the pro level, there's a different type of command. Commanding a pitch in college to commanding a pitch in pro ball is a little different. Hitting a 3 zone spot is actually hitting it, not getting around it.
Right.
And being efficient with all 4 pitches is huge. You got guys they have 2 pitches that are plus pitches, and will work at the college level. Well, if another team knows, hey, this guy's only got 2 pitches, because the scouting reports on us and then the scouting reports that we see on hitters, they're so in depth that it's like we know exactly what they're good at and what they're not good at, and they have the same against us. So if we are lazy with a curveball, usually in each outing it's going to show, hey, usually he's lazy with the curveball. He can't locate it very well. He might land a couple here and there, but overall he cannot locate it. So it's more of like, as a hitter, they're gonna just eat on that pitch. They're just gonna spit on it. So it's kind of a thing where it's like developing your pitches to be able to locate them in certain spots, not down or up. It's like side to side, up and down.
Right. Yeah. Now, something I've heard guys talking about is when they try to throw, say, a curveball and a slider, they sometimes lose the feel for one of them since they're similar and it won't be as effective. Has that ever happened to you where it's tough to have strong command over both of those pitches?
Actually, when I first got here, so my curveball and slider, they say, are merging. So,
Hmm.
like on the chart, it looks like the same pitch, just one sweeps a little more than the
Right.
other. But they coming out of the hand and look like, as the hitter's perspective, it looks like the same pitch.
Hmm.
So I've had to adjust my grips, and the other grips that they were trying to get me to do, they don't work.
Hmm.
So now I'm adjusting my hand, like hand angle, such as, instead of here, I'm trying to wrap around to get that more 12-6 instead of the sweeping curveball. And then my slider being more tight instead of loopy, to where it's 2 distinct pitches.
Right. It's kind of like the pitch design that you see Trevor Bauer doing and all that stuff with drive line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Now, the Diamondbacks currently have you listed as the number 19th prospect in their organization. That's high in the charts. As a player, knowing that, how do you take it? Is it something that, you focus on, or you just try to don't pay attention to it and let it take care of itself on the field?
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't know I was even there. I don't really look into that stuff because at the end of the day, it's whoever competes that day.
Yeah.
So you're not going to gain a spot just because you're a prospect. I mean, eventually that's the guys they probably look at, but you're not the only guys they look at. Such as like going in as a first rounder. Personally, for me, when I went in, I was like, yeah, kind of, I'm a first rounder, But once you get there, they don't care where you're drafted. And then especially like with the guys around you now, it's like, we're with our first and second prospect every day. All the prospects are here right now, and it's like no one looks at them differently than anyone else. And
Right.
they're not always going to be the best person on the field in that game. And you have to become that guy that has to produce and do your job every day on a consistent basis to be able to make it to the league. So, and, it's all of us, as you say, like the 19th prospect. It does give you a little leverage, I feel like, but it doesn't give you enough leverage to be like, I'm the 19th prospect, and I have a game that I could take off and still know, hey, I'm a 19th prospect, because that is not how this game works. And 19th prospect, there's 18 guys ahead of me. So, when you look at it that way, I'm not the number one prospect, and I have a lot of work to do.
Right. Now, this season, unfortunately, everyone's minor league season was canceled, and you actually had COVID. So, would you be able to talk about your experience with it, and how your teammates were able to handle it as well?
Yeah. So, obviously, not having a season this year sucked. But was a serious thing and still is. So like you said, I did have COVID, and I had it for about a month and a half. And I was asymptomatic, so I felt like I didn't have it at the time. So it kind of like frustrated me because I think it kind of jeopardized a little bit of the 60-man thing like we talked about prior to this. And it's kind of a thing where it's when you're sick but don't feel sick, but someone's telling you you're sick and you can't do stuff, is really kind of hard because, I mean, I was out here and I had to stop working out with, outside people and that kind of stuff just because I can't risk giving them COVID and this and that. So I was literally out here, couldn't even fly back home, couldn't do anything for a month and a half because I had this COVID that I didn't have any symptoms of, anything. And some of my teammates, they both had it, and one did get like sick, and then one just lost his taste and smell. So they had like the small symptoms, stuff that isn't hospitalized, but and then it was me over here and telling them, I don't think I have COVID anymore. And then we go and get tested. Still positive. And it was just frustrating. And I feel like it jeopardized the 60-man for me.
Right. Now, what does your training look like now? Throughout the summer, you weren't able to do as much as you wanted to do, but what is it looking like now heading into 2021?
Oh, well, I know, as you know, I'm in the instructor right now, so I'm actually getting my innings in here. Nothing like I would have in full season, but I'm getting out. I'm throwing. I was throwing prior to this, and now that we're playing outside competition, it gives you that game. Like, I mean, you're in a game basically, so you're getting that stress and that intent on those pitches to where I can actually have a short off season because I didn't throw so much this year, to where the short off season to come back for, hopefully we have spring training and stuff next year, to be ready for that as well. So, like I said, I'm throwing in games and working out like I would in a normal season. It's just a lot shorter.
Right. Now, a lot of times when, say, an analyst or former MLB player looks at a prospect, they're able to compare them to an established big leaguer. But from your perspective, is there anyone you've modeled your game after, or someone who has influenced you and your game along the way?
I mean, I look around, and it's not just one specific person, such as like on and off the field type of guy, and on the field as well, but not as a pitching perspective, is such as like Kyle Gibson. He's from my hometown. You know, I think in an organization, he does everything right. And he's a great pitcher. But when I look at myself as a pitcher, I picture myself more as like a Marcus Stroman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, short guy, has a lot of confidence. A guy that gets after it, that's undersized, and just has a lot of confidence in himself, and just loves competing. And I think that's Marcus Stroman that I look at.
Yeah.
How I play my game is to Marcus Stroman.
And the last question I want to ask you today is what advice you would give to a younger prospect, whether in high school or college, who might be going through that process of recruitment or getting drafted. What would you say to those guys?
Yeah, I mean, you set your mind to something, you're gonna fight, and you're gonna put in the work to accomplish whatever you want to accomplish in life. Me growing up myself, I was told I was too small and all this nonsense, and so basically, like, I look at it as the motivation to keep going and working harder to prove others wrong. And I would just say, you know, compete, don't be soft, and just go after what you want to do in life. If that's playing sports, any job, school, whatever. If you work hard, you're going to be successful.
Awesome. Drey, I appreciate you coming on, and good luck in the instructional league, and enjoy the off season.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, all you guys watching, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time here on Pinckney's Prospects.